Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 4 of our virtual open day. My name is Tipiso, and I will be your moderator for the day. Thank you so much for joining us. To kick off things today, if you could please take note of the notification and sounds tab that's up on your screen. Just need to go to the settings session on your PC or on Microsoft Teams so that you're able to minimize any sounds or notification that come through once you are within the session. So, as I've mentioned, it is day 4 of our virtual open day, and today's topics is going to be an overview of EIT's Doctor of Engineering program. And this session is going to be presented to you by our lecturers at EIT, that is Dr. Vishal Sharma, that's going to be Professor Akhtar Kalam, as well as Garth Greubel. Those will be our presenters for the day. Some common questions and FAQs. You will receive a copy of the slides as well as a recording of the session. They will be sent to you after the virtual open day, hoping Monday, the 21st of October, 2024. Please keep a lookout on the slides and as well as the video on your junk, spam, and promotional folders, if not located in the normal inbox. And then lastly, please note that you will have a Q&A session at the end of this presentation. If you have any questions relating to the program or any other technical questions you do have for our panel today, you can leave them both in the chat box as well as the Q&A portion of the day. Okay, so we are actually going to acknowledge acknowledgement of country rather. We are going to acknowledge and pay respects to traditional custodians throughout Australia, pay our respects to the elders of the past, the present, and emerging, to extend the respect to any Indigenous people who are present in today's session. As we all know, EIT is a global institution. We serve over 160 people with our courses, and it is very important that we take note and we pay our respects to the people who are amongst us and the people who lead us, of course. Without any further ado, I am going to leave you in the capable hands of the panel today. They will go through their presentation and they will be able to introduce themselves as well. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the session. I will see you after the presentation.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Vishal Sharma, a senior lecturer and research coordinator at EIT's Melbourne campus. I'll be presenting this session along with one of our senior academics, Professor Akhtar Kalam. Now, this is the agenda for today's session. So here, uh, we'll be talking about DH program, Doctor of Engineering program. The first part of this will be done by Professor Akhtar Kalam, and from the sixth point onwards, entry requirement onwards, I will be taking the control. And towards the end, you'll be also hearing from one of our DEng students, Mr. Garth Greubel. Okay, now about me. I have about 25 years of experience in teaching and research in the domain of manufacturing. I am an NRF rated researcher in South Africa and also in the top 2% researchers list given by Stanford. Additionally, I am associate editor with 4 international journals, and I have worked and lived in France, Norway, South Africa, and India. So that's brief about me. Now, coming to our institute, Engineering Institute of Technology. So we are a unique institution specializing in engineering. So we offer variety of programs and courses, including certificates, diplomas, bachelor's, master's degree, and finally the Doctor of Engineering, which we'll be talking more about in this session. So all our programs are registered and accredited in Australia. Our main campus is in Perth and other campuses in Melbourne, Brisbane, and South Africa. Basically, we are student centric, ensuring our students are industry ready. Therefore, we collaborate extensively with industry for program design and delivery. So we do rely on technology for program delivery and make use of learning management systems. We have strong team of experienced and dedicated academics. We deliver programs both on campus and online with a pool of international experts conducting online and live sessions. Our labs are well equipped. We provide students with the access to our labs at all times through virtual laboratories. So that's brief about our institute, Engineering Institute of Technology. Now, let me invite one of our most respected and senior academics to introduce Doctor of Engineering program. Before I hand over it to Professor Akhtar Kalam, I would like to briefly introduce him. So it's indeed a pleasure to introduce Professor Akhtar Kalam, who is currently serving as academic director at Texila College, Australia, Melbourne. He was formerly the head of the external engagement and deputy dean of Faculty of Health, Engineering and Science at Victoria University, Melbourne. Professor Kalam holds the concurrent appointment as a distinguished professor at several prestigious institutions, including University of New South Wales, Sydney, as well as universities in India and Malaysia. He is also editor-in-chief of Australian Journal of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. With over 600 published articles and 29 books in his area of expertise, Professor Kalam has made significant contributions to research and industrial consultancy. Under his mentorship, more than 50 PhD and master's students have successfully graduated, reflecting his dedication to academia. He also serves as an external examiner for many doctoral students, both in Australia and abroad. So his primary area of interest include power system analysis, communication, control protection, renewable energy, smart grid technology, IEC 61850 implementation, and cogeneration systems. So that's a brief about the professor. Now, may I request Professor to take over from here? Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sharma and Shipesho for your kind introduction. And it's a great pleasure to be here today talking about a program. And since this is a wow series, I will start with a big wow! This is the DEng program, and here we come. So let us see the next slide, please. The next slide that we have is looking at EIT itself and the Professional Doctorate of Engineering program. Things to remember first. We are looking at a program where there is original and significant contributions. So it's not going to be something which is already done. There's nothing new in it. What you will be doing in this Doctor of Engineering program will be original contribution and significant one, something which has not been done before. Application and evaluation of professional knowledge by engaging in practical problems. This is an interesting one. The practical problems of something which is demonstrated importance to the employment context. So it's something which is industry related, and it has a wider body of engineering and technical knowledge. So not confined to a small topic, and I'll show you the difference between the PhD and DEng program. It has a very wide topic, and in which there is a synergy between various sections on that topic. As Dr. Sharma mentioned, Texas has given its seals of approval, so it has the accreditation from the highest body in Australia, which gives it the highest level of accreditation, which is called AQF level 10. 3 years in duration, fixed duration, 3 years. If you do the thing rightly, you will finish everything in 3 years' time. It is not a never-ended problem like in the PhD one. Delivery can be either in online basis or on campus. Total is 120 credit points with 32 credit points of coursework and 88 of research component. Naturally, you'll have to go through the dissertation too. So my first thing that I want to tell you, the difference between the DA and PhD. You've seen a lot of people coming with a PhD. And we in EIT decided, and when I first wrote this program about 7-8 years back, there was no such program of DA in Australia. This is basically a practical oriented professional Doctor of Engineering program, and it's suitable to those people who are directly related to solving industry problems. So it is for the industry, by the industry, to the industry. Whereas a PhD program is more academic in nature or has more scientific research. There are a lot of PhDs being offered all over the world. If you want to do a PhD, if you want to ask my opinion, if you want to do a PhD, go to MIT, Cambridge, Oxford, or something like that. There you will get the academic or scientific research centers where you will get your PhD. But if you are an engineer working in an engineering environment and interested in solving problems which solves the industry problem and it helps the society at large, then BEng is what you require. Now, let me tell you my problems of PhD, and I myself have a PhD, and I'm sure Dr. Sharma has a PhD. Let me tell you my opinion of PhD. I wish, first of all, I had this opinion of this opportunity of doing a DH program. My opinion of PhD is that it's very hard to see your supervisor. A very limited exposure to your supervisor. Someone might say, when you first entered a PhD program, someone comes and tells you, "Hi, I'm your principal supervisor." And the next time you see that principal supervisor is after 3 years, when you go with your PhD and say you have completed the PhD. "Ah, you were that student Akhtar Kalam who came to me 3 years back." That is what it is, the PhD one. Here, it is quite different. In the PhD program, there is no teamwork element and the student is left all by themselves. And this could be quite distressing. And many students do not complete their PhD program. And the dropout rate is very, very high. Because that tight supervision is not there, then the quality of the research and the resultant PhD, there's a question mark. And you will find that in a PhD program, the emphasis is on research and a pure research. And there is no practical outcome in that. So when the student or the graduate who comes out of a PhD program goes for a job or work outcome, the only job that they can get is either in a CSIRO or on an academic college or universities. Industry is low in taking that because they find it's a very theoretical type of person who has come to their workforce. Because there is no coursework element in a PhD program, the rigor and the understanding of the high standards required for a high quality research-based approach is not there. And you'd be surprised, I remember when I was doing my PhD, There were students who were there for over 7 years still trying to struggle with the element of the research that was there. So that was definitely a problem of PhD versus DH. Now let us see. With that in mind, when I had that in mind, I said, look, let us think about something which is different. Let us now call it a professional doctorate program. It has the same qualification, AQF level 10, AQF level 10. But it is applied research. The difference is that applied research, it focuses on developing a specialized skills for practical application in the engineering workforce. So very engineering workforce oriented. The benefit is definitely there because there is a direct benefits and immediate benefit to the industry. You will be prepared for a professional engineering outcome, and the emphasis will be on engineering practices, a very high technical competence and innovation, and you will be prepared as graduates for technical leadership role in the industry, in particular the engineering industry. So when we wrote this program, we built in a significant support system for the candidate. No matter where they are located, I did tell you this is online as well as off campus. You could be located in Timbuktu, right? You can still do the program. So we recognize that people do not want to leave their comfort zone or the workplace that they are working in, leave their family behind. You can still do this professional doctorate program. So we've got this blended model, and we've got a whole collegiate of support in this program. So you will find there will be supervisors, there will be lecturers, there will be peers looking at you, providing you with comprehensive coursework with at least 2 years, 32 credit points you will be doing, ensuring that you have all the tools which is required so you can do a high quality applied research. On the top of that, we have a learning support officer to help you in your journey. I believe, and I think our institution EIT believes, that this will be a marker of someone who has worked on a high quality applied research of use to the industry, and the graduate would be a chartered or professional engineer of note. Okay? Now, what I'm trying to say is that normally the tradition is that you have the university, this is the profession, this is the workplace. With this program, you have got the benefits of the workplace, the benefit of the profession, and benefit of the university. So it's a culmination of everything, not only the university, not only the profession, not only the workplace, but everything in common. As far as the course structure is concerned, I did mention that there is course element, 32 credit points of course element, 88 credit points of research elements, which is total of 120. Very structured program, and with all the support that you have, there's no reason why you should not finish it in 3 years full-time mode or equivalent. The elective units that you have got is, if you look at it, there are some elective units in there. We have suggested that you do all these subjects, but if there are some subjects, and I've had some of the students, especially you would hear Garth talking about it, he did not choose 1 or 2 of these subjects, but chose subjects which were more more relevant to the research that he had. So you have the choice. Naturally, you will have to get the approvals from the course coordinator or the deputy dean to do these alternative unit. Okay, so you can find that some of these units are already in practice and very popular. Some of the units which you may not think of as much use to you, you have the right to change it. So in the first two term, which is the first semester, you'll be doing 4 units of the coursework element. And in the next semester, you'll be doing 12 credit points of the research element. And in year 2, so this is your foundation year, and this is your scaffolding year, you will be doing combination of both the coursework and research unit. If you look at it, you will be doing roughly about 8 credit points of coursework and 14 credit points of research element, both in first semester and second semester. And in the final year, you will be confining yourself to complete research, which is 48 credit points. In total, you will be spending about 120 credit points to get your Doctor of Engineering program. Okay, now you might ask, why you want to choose EIT? Very simple. EIT is flexible. Number one, EIT is flexible. Remember that. Our online program are designed to suit working professionals with practical experience in their field. Number two, the delivery model is unique, my friends. The online program, which is there, is a flipped classroom model. You can do that, and we have been doing that for the last 10 years. Number three, industry oriented, as I told you, for the industry, by the industry, to the industry. It is industry oriented, it is applied in nature, industry focus, and provide mutual benefit both to the industry and academia. Number four, work integrated. It links your education to workforce issues and solve problems that you are passionate about in an innovative and flexible way. Number five is research. You will do an individual, independent investigation into a research problem of your own design that makes a significant and original contribution to the knowledge in the context of professional practice. And the last thing is a contribution. It prepares you as a candidate for the highest level of professional practice in which you can contribute significantly to the development of your discipline in engineering. My last slide. You might ask, what is the job outcome? And I can tell you, unlike a traditional PhD where you have only an option of working in a teaching environment like a university or a college or an institution or a CSIRO type. Here, you can join any sector you wanted. The academic sector, which a normal PhD would go to, this is where you will be a great attraction because you will be a talented researcher and professional, and you will have the ability to communicate effectively so that you can contribute to the local and international profile and reputation of that sector. The second sector is the business and organization in the private sector. You'll find that the hiring researchers, professionals develop and improve products, processes, or services and create a competitive and edge through the innovation. And then lastly, you can work in the government agencies where you will be hired as a researcher professional in a way to access specialist knowledge and skills. So, wow, this is a DH program. This is a unique program. Wow, we welcome you to DH program. Dr. Sharma, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Prof, for this energetic and useful insight. Thank you so much. Now, coming to the next part is the entry requirements. You might be interested in knowing how you can get into this program. So there are three entry requirements. First one is if you have BE honors or graduate diploma with the minimum of a second class honors division, then you can get into this program, DH program. And second is if you are having a master's degree from EIT or any other recognized institute, then also you can get into our DH program. And the third pathway is satisfying the dean's requirement. Now, in order to meet this requirement, you should have 4 years of undergraduate uh, degree with 5 years of experience and appropriate level of English. Then, if you meet all this criteria, then it goes to the panel and then it has to satisfy these requirements. And if it is true, then you are eligible to apply, get into this program. Okay. Uh, Now, regarding pathways and credit, so we do give credit for units that you might have studied at master's level. So we call it RPL, recognition of prior learning. So we give a maximum of 2 units as RPL. However, RPL is not there for the thesis unit because it is a research unit. Now, how you apply for this program? It is pretty simple. So it starts with filling the inquiry form. Our course advisor will contact you and provide you the necessary details. Then you submit the application along with your CV, statement of purpose, and the research proposal along with the other academic documents. Now, if you need support to develop your research proposal, you may tell our course advisor. She will put you across the right academics in your domain. Then if you meet the criteria for admission, you'll be invited for interviews with the panel of experts. Then if you are successful, you will receive an offer letter. Now, this entire process will take approximately 3 weeks of time. Now, professor also emphasized that why EIT? Because EIT we provide a lot of support, and the main support is it will come for DH program is through supervision. We provide tight supervision. That means we provide two supervisors for each student, and I will show you in the subsequent slides that we have supervisors not only from Australia, but we have from other universities across the globe. So we also have remote labs. That is our quite strength area. So all our DN students, they have access to our remote labs 24/7 uninterrupted, and we support our students to publish in journals. So for that we pay for the journal fees, and also we encourage them to attend conferences. So we do have some scholarships and assistantships. Uh, it is here, it is given here. So we offer scholarships and assistantships for both on-campus and online students. Now, students must apply these well in advance to meet the criteria, eligibility criteria to receive them. And and moreover, this is valid for 1 semester, and it must be reapplied to receive them in the following semester. So this we also have scholarships and assistantships for our DH program. Now here you can see some of our DH supervisors. So we have this is just a glimpse of our experts. You can note that they are from different universities in Australia, and not only Australia, but they are from other universities from other countries as well. So Professor Kalam, you have been listening to him. So we have Professor Vivian from Western Sydney University, Australia, Professor Mehran from Swinburne University, Australia, Professor Assad from Brazil, and other professors from Australia. Then we also have Professor Vimal, who is from Canada, and then Professor Korush from University of West Australia, West London, UK. So we have our experts are from different universities, not only in Australia, but they are from other parts of the world also. So we have our dedicated team who are supervising our DN students, and this is again the list of our dedicated academics at our three campuses in Perth, Melbourne, and Brisbane. These are a few more faculty members, our dedicated team members from our three campuses. Now, coming to the research topics, we have over 50, more than 50 DEng students actively involved in research. So here you can see the topics on which they are working. If you see the list carefully, they will fall under our core strength areas, which is civil engineering, electrical, mechanical, and industrial automation. And you will also encounter many multidisciplinary topics. Now, this is well managed by assigning two supervisors to each student based upon the problem in hand. So you can see more topics here. And then a few more are here. And in case you are interested in knowing more about any of these topics, then please contact us at this email address. Okay. Now coming to the time commitment and duration. Our full-time program is for 3 years. And one thing you should keep in mind that our DH program is at AQF level 10, Australian Qualification Framework level 10. That is the highest level of qualification in Australia. And it is a research intensive program. So you need to be, it will require significant time and dedication to complete the program. Okay, so you can see that the time that is required, the commitment from your side. So the 20 hours per fortnight for a coursework unit is required, and 60 hours per fortnight is required for research units. So you can imagine that this much time and dedication is required, but this is no problem at all because we provide complete support and you are fully prepared for research starting from the first year itself. Okay, now so these are the important dates for online intakes. So the deadline is 6 January 2025, and on-campus intakes we have for onshore students, the deadline is 4th February 2025, and offshore applications, we have a deadline of 6th January 2025. Now, 5th DH conference. Now, this is another important activity that we do for our Doctor of Engineering students. So we call it a DH conference. Now, this is a biannual activity. So with the purpose of giving our DH students an opportunity to showcase their work to their peers and academics across their disciplines. So it is a great platform to receive feedback and suggestions for the direction of their research. Additionally, by listening to expert talks and participating in workshops, it will further enhance their knowledge and skill for conducting research. Recently, we concluded one conference and it was the 5th conference. And here you can see we had 5 keynote speakers, starting with Professor Steve Mackay, our Dean, and Professor Mashia from RMIT University, Professor Amit Agrawal from Amrita University, Dr. Sharma from Deakin University, Professor Korush from University of West London. So expert talks are always part of our DH conference, and along with that, so workshop sessions are also there. So these workshop sessions are conducted by our internal academics. This was done by Dr. Milind Sidpura, and a research presentation was also done by our internal academics, Dr. Hussain Tafti. So in this DH conference, nine students, there were three sessions, and nine of our DH students presented their work, and they received applause and the feedback on their work. Okay, now it's time to hear from our current DH student. So Mr. Garth is originally from Garth Greubel is originally from South Africa and is deeply involved in his research work. He was also a winner of DH conference presentation competition. Welcome, Mr. Greubel. We invite you to share your background and research experience with EIT. Welcome.
Good day, everyone. My name's Garth Greubel. Just a quick question. Do I control the slides, or must I just ask for them to be moved on?
You can actually take control of the slides, Garth. It's on the top left of your screen. There is take control, or I can move the slides.
I can move the slide. I did that with Dr. Sharma, so I can do it, Garth.
Thanks, Professor. Good day. So I've got, I suppose, a non-traditional background to studying engineering. I spent a lot of my career in working in the financial markets, and essentially where economics and law and mathematics come together. And it was only when I spent some time with the electricity utility in South Africa and I got exposed to the engineering side of things that I then became more interested in engineering and did this late career switch. And I mean, before I talk about the student experience, I just really like to echo something that Professor Kalam mentioned earlier on. About 15 years ago, I started a PhD, and I had that exact experience that he was speaking about. I saw my supervisor maybe once a year, and I was completely lost in the wilderness. And when I was looking to do a doctorate again, I specifically sought out a course that had more structure. And that's the thing that I found very, very compelling about this EIT DEng course. Where I'm in the program, I'm about to complete my second year of 3. I've substantially completed all of the coursework. I'm busy now with one of the elective courses, and then that will be done, and I'm now fully engaged in the research components. I'm currently working on an article that will be submitted for publication, and that's part of the DEng 804 course, where I'm doing a comparative review of both mathematical and meta-heuristic optimization techniques to solve a power flow problem. Please advance the slide.
Yeah, it's done.
Thank you. So what I found really enjoyable about this course is this combination of the coursework and the research. As I mentioned earlier, I specifically sought out a doctoral program that was more structured and had some coursework with it. And the coursework in this DEng program has got foundation type units where you do an ethics course, you do a very interesting course in intellectual property and research methodology, and then I suppose you could call them content refreshment units, which are more engineering and mathematically orientated, including dynamic systems modeling, data acquisition, applied mathematical modeling and simulation. And then, of course, there's the research components, and there it falls into 3. You have to, first in this course is DEng 802. You have to prepare a paper for submission to a conference. Then you do a journal paper in 804, and then finally your full thesis in the last year. And I must say, having worked my way through all of the coursework, it it's quite a confidence builder, actually, as you go through and you complete it. You get a sense of accomplishment and achievement as you're working your way through the program. And also it gives you a feeling of structure, and indeed the refreshment nature of some of these courses is good for your knowledge growth. Thanks. The next slide, please. I'm based in South Africa, and what I've found really interesting and I've enjoyed about this course is the fact that it's online. It casts a very wide net geographically, and so there are a diversity of people on the course that you interact with from northern, southern hemispheres and east and west, and so I found that very, very interesting, seeing the interacting with different people and the different interests they have. The lecturers I found to be very good indeed, and the remote nature of the lectures is a little bit one-dimensional because it's on screen, and there's a combination of recorded lectures which you watch and then live tutorials. But it also brings the live tutorials bring a different dimension to it because there's a chat box that's open all the way through. So you have this ability to interact with the lecturer and with the other students when you live in the tutorial in a different way to how you would do it in a class setting. And so I'm not saying it's necessarily better or worse, it's just a different experience, and you have to embrace that aspect of it to get the most out of the online sessions. There's a polling system as well that's on the software, which for Q&A type issues where you get this immediate feedback and you can see how other people vote on issues and answer questions, which is a very interesting aspect that you don't have in a live setting or in an in-person setting rather. Thanks. The next slide, please.
I've already done it.
I think that's it. Thank you. So the courses I've enjoyed, particularly in the STEENG program, is the dynamic systems modeling and the applied mathematical modeling and simulation. I previously did the graduate certificate in power system analysis and design, and I really enjoyed that course. It was a great, I mean, it's a specialist course, but a great foundational course as well. I've already mentioned about the remote environment and this very wide geographic net that gets cast, that creates for a very different experience, and people from many geographies coming into the class that I found very, very interesting. And I think that's it, Professor.
Okay, thank you, Garth. It was quite amazing to know about your research. So, yeah, okay. So it's interesting to see that you're working in this domain of smart grid solution, so aimed at balancing supply and demand while minimizing load shedding. So, would you like to speak more on that?
Oh, I can actually. Yeah. So
yep. Yeah, please go ahead, please.
Thank you. So the problem I'm trying to solve in it is actually after I left the state utility, I founded an electricity trading business, and there was a problem for a client that I was trying to solve. I was selling electricity to the customer, and in South Africa, load shedding is a systemic problem for us. And the customer said to me, well, it's fine that I buy power, but I need to be protected from load shedding. And I thought, well, there must be some sort of way that I can solve this problem for the client, which led me to this idea that I'm busy researching now. So what I'm trying to do is for a client with multiple facilities across the country, so many points of connection, and the this particular case study I'm working on is an industrial customer. So they have cogeneration, they've got some embedded solar, they've got some diesel generators as well. And they've got interesting aspects to the load because it's quite sophisticated. So there's some opportunity for demand side management, for load curtailment, and also they have certain loads that are flexible, so you can move it around. You don't have to incur the load now, you can incur it later or earlier in the day. And so with the combination of the various generation units, buying in additional renewable energy and battery and bringing the controllable load into the equation, I'm seeking to balance demand and supply for this customer in a virtual way. And there's provision within the grid code that allows them to then get a certain amount of protection from load shedding if you can demonstrate this demand and supply. So I'm busy doing it now for the day ahead market. And yeah, so that's basically the problem I've been trying to solve. So it's a real practical problem for a customer.
Yes.
Sorry, the point I wanted to make is if everyone adopts this sort of approach, what happens in the grid as the grid becomes more, has a high penetration of renewable energy, there's a lot of, I suppose, instability that gets introduced, or complexity in managing the grid that gets introduced, because you have less inertia, you have less ability to inject reactive energy, and because of all the renewable energy. And if everyone adopts this sort of approach that I'm developing, all you do is you push all of those stability issues back onto the system operator. So what I'm trying to do in combination with matching the demand and supply is provide voltage stability at all of the points of connection. So we'll be employing devices that can create this broader benefit to the overall grid, as opposed to just solving the problems for the individual customer.
Okay, so the best part of which I think is you are leveraging technology and you're using AI fundamentals to develop a solution. And the best part is you can apply it anywhere globally.
Absolutely.
So very nice. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Greubel, for sharing your wonderful experiences with EIT and your research plan. Thank you so much. So now we are open for questions. If you want to ask some questions, I can see one hand. So you can put either question in the chat box, or you can say unmute and ask the question.
So they will be able to note their questions in the chat box or the Q&A section. So we'll just wait to hear from the questions that we have. I think you already have one, Doctor. It says, thank you all for a wonderful session. The student is actually enrolled. They are in a DH program, term 1, and they would like to I take the course as online. It's not a question. However, it's something nice to hear. It's always a pleasure to hear from our students during these sessions, because it means we're doing something right.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So you will be now taking these questions if there are more?
Yes, that is correct. I'll just tell you when a question comes about. However, I do not have anything as of yet.
All right.
So in the meantime, whilst we're waiting for our participants to add their questions on the chat box, I'll just like to inform our attendees that they will again receive the slides as well as the recording of this particular session. They will be mailed to them on their emails right after the 21st of October 2024. As the professor has mentioned, there will also be a DH conference happening. I will be sure to add the links in the chat box and the Q&A function. And then lastly, we do have a Doctor of Engineering Toolbox chat all webinars that actually run every month. We are going to be on topic 6. It started on the 2nd of May and we will be finishing in December. Professor Kalam is actually the one who holds these sessions. So if you are interested in hearing more about our topic, as well as finding out about the research element, you're more than welcome to join these sessions. I'm going to leave both the link as well as the page to the EIT website where you will be able to actually register and attend these sessions. If you're interested in applying or hearing more about the program, you can speak to a course advisor at EIT. Again, I will be sure to leave all the relevant links into the chat box so that you guys are able to utilize them and get more information regarding the Doctor of Engineering. As mentioned, this program is available both online and on campus. However, there's a difference between applying for the online program and the on-campus program, but the course advisors will be more than happy to explain that for you once you get in touch with them. I see a couple of questions relating location. So EIT has about 3 locations in terms of campuses. We have a campus in Perth, our head office, Melbourne, and now currently in Brisbane. We're currently looking to expand. However, we do not have any campuses in Africa. But the nice thing is, as I've mentioned, we have over 160 countries that we service through the use of online education. So this program, the Doctor of Engineering, you can actually study it remotely, such as Garth is doing. There's no need for you to travel. If you want to travel, you're more than welcome to do so. However, you are more than welcome to do the course online. I will leave all the links as well as information to the chat box. You guys are more than welcome to speak to the course advisors. They will be happy to assist you guys. I'm just going to leave the questions for about another minute or two. If we do not have anything else, I will conclude the session. So if you have a question, you are more than welcome to leave it in the chat box, and I will make sure to answer all the other questions on the chat box as well if they're not related to the Doctor of Engineering program and what Professor Kalam, Professor Vishal, as well as Garth can answer.
Professor, there was a very good question from someone who says that he's coming from a disadvantaged country in Nigeria. The currency is about the least in the world in terms of value. $3,000 is about 5 million naira, which is very high. How can EIT help me through? I want to study on campus. The answer to this, you have to apply. EIT also has scholarships, and some of the students do get scholarship, especially disadvantaged students like you from Nigeria. And as a matter of fact, I've got one more student. I've got 6 students who are doing DEng with me, and who is from Nigeria. And apparently, you can apply for scholarships, provided you are a good quality student. There are ways and means of getting scholarships in EIT too. I don't know how much it will be. You will have to apply for it, and you will be able to see that. Garth, you want to say something?
Please, thank you. So South Africa also has a weak currency, which is very volatile. And I pay all of my fees in South African rand. So, and I imagine that for the other major countries, you would also pay in your local currency. So whilst the course isn't cheap per se, at least you're not exposed to the exchange rate fluctuations, which is a big thing actually.
If I can interject, Garth, so we do have scholarships. We do offer partial scholarships. I've actually left the link in the description. The gentleman is more than welcome to visit that link. So fees are region-based. It's going to be dependent on where you are studying from. They are more than welcome to go onto the EIT scholarship page. They will receive all the assistance that they need. And Professor Kalam is right. If they are a good quality student, they will be exposed to the scholarship scholarships that we have, and they can then take the course. It will again be on a case-to-case basis. They will need to make an application and hear from the scholarship committee. They will be more than happy to assist with that.
Also, I wanted to add, Chiposo, that our deputy dean, who is a woman, there's a very big emphasis on encouraging women to apply for these scholarships too.
Yes, that is correct. We do also have a Women in Engineering scholarship that we have at EIT. Every scholarships that we have can be found on the link that I've just responded with in the chat box. Please make sure to visit it and you'll have all the questions answered. I have mentioned that I'm going to leave other links pertaining to the website, the program, the webinar, as well as information to the course advisor. They will be able to assist you with all your questions. If you have any queries or rather any information that you might need regarding our product offerings, you're more than welcome to utilize those links. I am guessing we don't have any other questions. If that is all, I'd like to thank you, gentlemen, for presenting. It was a lovely pleasure to see you all today. It's also great to see students instead of just our lecturers, because it really does give people insight on what happens within the course and how our students are actually studying from wherever they are in the world. A special thank you to the attendees. You guys will receive the slides as well as recordings. If you have any further questions, please utilize the links. I will be leaving them shortly in the chat box. Thank you so much for your time and have a lovely day.
Yeah,
Bye,
Garth,
everyone.
go ahead.
Bye, Professor.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Dr. Sharma.
Bye.